All right, tonight we are joined by Michael Gremmo to talk about a very, very important day on the calendar that is coming up. Friday, September 1st this year, it is Jersey Day. And if I'm correct, it's the 9th year of Jersey Day.
Yes, it is this year.
Mate, I think the simple way to start this off, you're the president of the Hills Bulls, developer, community leader, but most importantly, you're a family man and a father, and along with your family and your brothers, you've established Jersey Day. I'm one of the people, like I told you when I was on the phone, that had heard of Jersey Day, but I didn't actually know what Jersey Day was about. So could you open up with us here and just let us know what is Jersey Day? How did it come about?
Yeah, so each Jersey Day we ask students and employees and schools to allow their students and employees to wear a jersey to work or school and have that conversation and speak to each other, and more importantly, go home and have that conversation with their family and loved ones about organ donation, which saves lives. As we always say, it's okay to say no, but it is really important that you have that conversation with your family and loved ones, because currently the statistics are there's not many people that are eligible to be an organ donor. You usually have to die in hospital, become brain dead, and it's those small amount of people that can become organ donors. So there's actually 50% of people, which is a huge number, turn that decision over, because at the end of the day, it's about the family. The family members can turn that decision over, even if you're registered as an organ donor. So the awareness campaign is purely about you having that conversation with your loved ones, so that if you're in that situation, we hope you're not, that your loved ones know that you should, what your wishes are, so it's not turned over.
Yep. And I think that's the biggest thing you pointed out to me the other day when I spoke to you, when you brought up in this circumstance about funding. Is there anything you could do that it's nothing in that regard? It is purely awareness, having that conversation, knowing someone's wishes or thoughts around the situation, God forbid it does occur, that it's not one of the things out there that a lot of charities obviously need to have fundraisers, donations, events to try and get about. It is purely basically that awareness side that really needs to be pushed.
You know, that's right. After Nathan passed away in 2015, we went back to the hospital just to share with them and see if we could do anything to help them. Their care and their dignity that they showed to Nathan and our family through that process was unbelievable. So we wanted to see if we could assist in any way. It's pleasing to know that the government fund a lot of organ donation, so it's not funds that they require, it's the actual awareness. So 4 months after Nathan passed, that's when we started the first Jersey Day. And Jersey Day isn't about raising funds, it's just about awareness and then going home and having that important conversation with your loved ones.
And speaking about Nathan, I heard a little bit on the website and speaking to you yourself that obviously one of the big questions people ask you is why Jersey Day? But he loved team sports, he loved sport, he loved the uniform, and I guess that message mixes in perfectly with exactly what you're talking about, because it takes a team effort to get this across the line, to raise that awareness for people to come together and push the message of the importance that, I guess, through, you know, that tragedy, which you can never ever turn away, that you can give the gift of life to somebody else and try and take some positive or have some impact out of what is a tragic circumstance.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, it's part of the Australian culture, a jersey, teamwork. Nathan played soccer, he played rugby league, he loved the Hills Bulls. He just loved putting on that jersey and being part of a team, camaraderie that comes with that team, the training, the mates that you get for life. That was a huge part of his life, and we just thought a jersey and in Jersey Day was a great way to honour Nathan's legacy.
Shoe on the other foot, this is another part we sort of talked about. This is a situation where no amount of money or anything you can do can obviously put you in a situation where if you were the other person who needed to be given one of these organs or tissue, or in a situation to change that you'd move heaven and earth to do so. But it really, again, comes back to having the conversation and raising the awareness that you are from Jersey Day in Nathan's legacy to try and, you know, give someone the gift of life.
Yes, no, that's exactly right. I mean, Nathan had his accident on the Thursday afternoon. He was on his way home from school. He was put in a situation that was out of the ordinary. He was kept back at school. Kylie, Nathan's mum or wife, dropped Nathan off with our two daughters, and he crossed the road. It was a Thursday. He was usually doing maths tutoring on a Friday. Thursday, we got it changed back to Thursday, which he loved, which freed up his weekend for his sport and playing with his mates. So it was just one of those circumstances that all led into Nathan just being in the wrong place at the wrong time and unfortunately hit by the car. That was a Thursday. The Friday we were asked if we would like to donate Nathan's organs. It wasn't until the Monday that Nathan donated his organs. And as you say, we were asked on that Friday, would you donate Nathan's organs? And we ran that by the girls, Annalise and Ashley, Nathan's sisters. And it was something that we all agreed that it's something that Nathan would have wanted to do just with his personality and how he lived life. He loved life and he always wanted to help people. So it was fitting that Nathan would have wanted that. We had a conversation about organ donation before he passed, a few weeks before he passed, which we'll go into. So, yeah, it was quite incredible that, that all happened in a unique situation, I suppose. Nathan, it was only about 2 weeks before the accident. He had a conversation with me. He was watching a documentary and said to me that there was organ recipients that were taking on traits of organ donors. And I said, mate, don't believe you see, what you see, everything you see on TV. Nathan straight away said, no, Dad. He sat down and had the conversation with us, and there was 3 or 4 families that were speaking with the organ donors' families, and they'd actually taken on different traits, different tastes and things like that they've actually got off the organ donors that they had previously. So it wasn't something that we sat down then and had a conversation and said, what would you do, mate, if you had to be in that situation? It was just made it easier, our decision, because we had that conversation. It's not a conversation you would usually have with a 13-year-old fit, healthy person. So I suppose that's part of our message about awareness and getting it out there. It is easier for you to make that decision if you're in that unfortunate circumstance, which we were. If you've had that conversation and people say, hey, I'd really like to donate my organs, or no, I don't want to, it helps you in that decision and you're respecting the wishes of your loved one.
Yeah. And I read, and you said to me also, that in this circumstance with Nathan that he was able to help 6 lives.
Yes, he saved 6 lives, including a baby. And then there's been many people come up to us from both sides, organ donors' families and organ recipients, and through Nathan's message and what Nathan did, and also Jersey Day, that people have become organ recipients, or the families granted the wishes or gone on to be an organ donor. So there's many lives that have, in the area and outside the area that have been saved because of that, and that's why it's so important to have this conversation. You only need to have that conversation once as well.
And we spoke about it before as well, and the numbers sort of blew my mind. You told me about how many people at any one time are on the waiting list. I think roughly sometimes can be anywhere up to 1,500 people. Some people can wait for 6 months, some 4 years. And the biggest thing is, to that point again, awareness, and your family knows your wishes, or you've had that sort of conversation, that if we could increase that number even just slightly, the amount of impact that you could have come out of that circumstance.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. The stats back in 2015, when Nathan was an organ donor, I think it was 378 people were organ donors and saved 1,170 odd lives. So there's 1,500 on the waiting list. So if you can imagine those 50% of people that are turning that decision over, if they've had that conversation with their loved one and those people actually become organ donors, it's going to save so many lives. And as you said before, the question we always asked, if we were in the reverse situation and Nathan was waiting on a life-saving organ transplant to save his lives, you'd move heaven and earth to do that. You'd sell your house, you'd do anything to save a loved one, but unfortunately it's not the amount of money that you've got or what you can do. You're waiting on a generous organ donor and a generous organ donor's family to grant those wishes to save those lives. So, if you're in a reverse situation, what would you do to save a life?
And I think, like I said, you hit the nail on the head there. If you put yourself in other shoes, it's no amount of money or circumstance that can do it. It is exactly this, having that conversation, raising that awareness to the point, like I told you, I remember when I got my license, and it used to be a tick and flick on the box, but obviously that is no longer the case. But with, having this in schools, in workplaces, having that conversation on the Friday, wearing your jersey, people are able to raise that awareness, start that conversation, and hopefully, like you said, God forbid that situation comes about, and try to make a positive impact or have a positive outcome out of something, that's so unfortunate.
That's exactly right. So many people still today think that they've ticked that box on their licence many years ago, so they are eligible to be an organ donor, but you have to actually register online. But as I say, even if you register online, it's your family at the end of the day that makes that decision. So they can turn that decision over or follow the wishes of your loved one. So it's quite incredible how it works. I mean, there's different ways overseas do different things. It's an opt-out system rather than an opt-in system. So there's many ways that we can do it, but in the meantime, that's government legislation to change that, and that'll take many, many years. So in the meantime, Jersey Day is just a great way. It doesn't cost any money. It's a fun, family way, fun-friendly way to do things. It doesn't cost you any money. And as you say, if you're going to work or school, put your jersey on, have a bit of fun with it, and more importantly, go home and speak to your loved ones about that decision and what you would like to do if you're in that unfortunate circumstance.
And you had the Gremmo Community Fund, you said before when I spoke to you as well, that you guys were involved obviously in your community and impacting people's lives, which now also is named in your son's honour and legacy. It is the Nathan Gremmo Community Fund.
Yes, so prior to Nathan passing away, we had the Gremmo Family Community Fund, which it's always been about helping people less advantaged than what we are. So we've helped a number of charities build buildings and raise money, raise funds for it. It's helping people that aren't as privileged as the rest of it and do that. And then we've changed the name now to the Nathan Gremmo Community Fund, which we still do projects like that. We're currently helping Northwest Disabilities get a huge development through at Rouse Hill Money Place. So we still do different things like that on top of Jersey Day. It's something that I suppose was ingrained from our mum and dad. I suppose it's a bit of a culture that if you've got that in your bones to help people, it's what you try and do.
And I think the other thing that I found just as crazy when we spoke about it was it's as simple as literally registering. You can go through your website, yourjerseyday.com.au, you have a link to donatelife.com.au. It takes only 1 minute to fill out that form. Obviously, again, you need to speak to your family and those who are going to have to make that decision if it does come about, but that circumstance could literally save up to 7 lives and could impact up to 10.
Yes, most definitely. Can save more lives than that. And even older people, they can still save lives, and don't forget it's organ and tissue donations. So, you've got people that are affected by fires and things like that. We just had a mate pass away. Unfortunately, he had cancer. He was an organ donor, so he donated his eyes when he passed away. So he's given the gift of sight to someone out there, even though that he had cancer. So unfortunately, his organs were unable to be used because of cancer, but his eyes were. So there's someone out there seeing today because of him.
I think another part I sort of had here, and I saw on the website, which I thought was really, really powerful, and you mentioned that you used it in Parliament, was the words from your daughter. That speech was incredible, and the quote, the final quote on the Instagram post that Nathan had as well, that really, really resonated with me. And I think you said you had some notes there with you that you had used in Parliament, or if you'd like to use those.
Yeah, no, I'll read that out if you like. So this was a speech that Annalise, who was in Year 6 at the time when Nathan passed away, she said this speech for the voice of youth. So I'll read that out, which probably sums up Nathan and sums up Jersey Day. So, My Brother by Annalise Gremmo. 1,600 people waiting for their lives to be saved by a hero. I'm the extremely proud sister of organ donor Nathan Gremmo. On the 30th of April 2015, our perfectly normal family life was shattered when my brother passed away in a car accident. Life will never be the same without him. 6 lives were saved as a result of Nathan's generous gift. Whilst we were in hospital, organ donation was the easiest decision that I helped make. We needed something good to come out of a horrible tragedy. Could you imagine being on dialysis 12 hours a day, being injected daily with insulin, having lungs that didn't work properly, making you feel like you were drowning, or having a heart so damaged that it could stop beating at any second? We are lucky in Australia to have an amazing organ transplant teams with doctors, nurses and research units that save lives. In 2014, a total of 1,193 people received the gift of life from 378 donors. World-class facilities that have achieved some of the best transplant outcomes in the world. However, 50% of eligible families agreed to donate their loved ones' organs. This leaves over 1,600 people on life-saving waiting lists. I'm here today to encourage people to think about and discuss tissue and organ donation. It's as easy as discovering the facts about organ donation, deciding about becoming an organ donor, registering your decision online, and more importantly, discussing your decision with those closest to you so that you're aware of their wishes. Through Nathan's legacy, our family has established Jersey Day. Each Jersey Day, we are simply asking everybody to wear a jersey to school or work, and most importantly, have a conversation with their family and friends about organ and tissue donation. Our family has endured the cruelest of possible circumstances. I can only think that if our circumstances were reversed and Nathan was desperate for an organ donation, we would move heaven and earth to save my brother. However, the reality is that we would be waiting for a generous organ donor family to save Nathan's lives. I think everyone here would feel the same way. I believe we all should live our lives the same way my brother did, with his selfless, caring and respectful nature. I will leave you with Nathan's last Instagram post only hours before his tragic accident. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
That's extremely powerful, and especially, like you said, in year 6, that's a lot to to write down and come up with that age and that experience. Like you said, it's something that's obviously life-altering, is going to stay with you, but from that circumstance and the work you and your family are doing through this to try and get that awareness across, that there is an impact that can be made out of that tragic circumstance.
Yeah, mate, that's what it's all about, just having that conversation. And I suppose it's an opportunity time to thank Parramatta and yourself, Lewis, for assisting with Jersey Day and what we're trying to do to get this awareness out there amongst people around the area and around Australia and save some more lives, as Nathan's done.
So we definitely encourage people from that. As you said, it's free, it's fun. Get your jerseys on, organise your work, your school place. Like, even, I guess this is something to go through government, but TAFEs, unis, there's probably other ways that this can even branch out even further. You've got sporting organisations that have come on board as well to push. I think you said the New South Wales Blues and others have been involved.
Yeah, Parramatta, they're always assisting, sending out messages. We've had, the Prime Minister, Governor General, Usain Bolt, world's fastest man, even Winks wore a Jersey Day rug, the world's best weight racehorse at one stage. So it's just about to get out there and have that conversation. And there's been a lot of sporting superstars assist us with Jersey Day, and the media has been wonderful. Radio, TV, the NRL football shows been quite incredible over the years, supporting us every year and getting that message out. So a big thank you from the Gremmo family and Jersey Day.
And I guess something else is a recipient in this situation, while life is lost, can honour that person by continuing to live with that gift that can be given through Jersey Day.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, it's something, as Annalisa said there, it was something, we needed something good to come out of a horrible situation, and to think that 6 people are walking around living like they were on death's door before that, and Nathan has saved them. The person with the lung transplant and the heart transplant was sitting up in bed, breathing unassisted, and a new heart, lungs. It's quite incredible what can happen with these organs that are obviously no longer any good for you when you've passed away.
Well, as we said at the start, the biggest thing here is awareness. September 1st this year on the Friday. This is the 9th Jersey Day. You can go to the website, jerseyday.com.au. There's plenty of prompts and links through there. You've got facts about organ donations. There's links. There's the shop, social media tiles that people can use to promote and continue to give that awareness. You've even got a social media guide there about how people can get their photos, tag them, send them in, and the hashtags and everything for the day. And you've obviously got the link, as we said, to donatelife.com as well, so people can go register to be organ donors and begin to have that conversation.
Yeah, that's right. All that information's on our website, and if you need anything else, just email us through that site.
Well, mate, thank you very much for talking to us. It's a very powerful message, and credit to you and your family for taking this circumstance and honouring Nathan's life by continuing it with Jersey Day. I know I'm all the more better for having met you, read the message, and like your daughter's speech, reading that. I literally almost broke down myself. But thank you very much for talking to us here today. And Jersey Day, everybody get behind the concept, share it. As we said before, it's free. It's all about awareness, and there is hopefully a positive that can come out of a potentially tragic situation. But Michael, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.